Hello, Transurfer and the Transurfing Curious. My name is Renee Garcia and this is TransurfingTV. And today we are going to be talking about upgrading your self-esteem. And this is where I really fell in love with Reality Transurfing. Reality Transurfing helped me to connect with an idea that I didn't need to strive to become somebody that I wasn't, right? That I needed to rather connect with a parallel version of myself. And I could use these concepts to not change. That's the cool thing about transurfing. You're not changing anything. You don't have to try to adapt. You don't have to try to morph into something else. You don't have to try to, change your reality. You simply upgrade everything. Reality 2.0, upgrading your self-esteem, upgrading your belief system. It's about moving upward in a very natural progression using these concepts and never forcing anything or trying to do anything or striving to become somebody else or any of that kind of stuff. And Vadim Zeland says in the book a number of times, he gives this idea to us about falling in love with yourself. Falling in love with yourself is so valuable in this modality and your navigation of the alternatives space of the quantum field, right? Because, and I will get into my lesson and, go into this in depth, but remember, you can only access those upper lifelines if you're soul frail, if who you truly are, if your frequency is resonating, matching that sector of reality, resonating and corresponding to that sector of reality, right? Somebody that feels like they're in the dumps and they're on one of the lower lifelines isn't going to correspond to one of these lifelines up here. It's bringing yourself up so you can correspond to that upper life track, therefore accessing more of what you intend to be, do, or have, whatever you want in life. It's primarily up on these higher tracks. And to get yourself there, you got to merge with your higher self, and it's all waiting for you. Before I get started, remember to like this video and comment below. My world is taking care of me to enter my daily giveaway for my reprogramming stickers and Reality 2.0 on Teachable down below. Check it out and join us on Facebook. Like this video, comment, all that good stuff. Yay! So, okay, I decided to teach this lesson using my alternative space model, the linear life tracks stacked up on top of each other, right? So for those of you that don't know, I like to view, and also Vadim says it in the book a number of times, that lifelines are linear levels that are sort of stacked up on top of each other, and they're like layers of reality, right? I like to see it as any given day, I have access to 10 different levels of reality. The top one is me feeling my best. I'm on the wave of success. Everything's going swimmingly. I am loving my layer of reality. I am focused on all that is good. I am working towards my intentions. I'm meeting with my doors towards my goals and all of that good transurfing stuff. On the lower lines, that's me depressed. That's me not making headway. This is me not having a positive mindset. This is me feeling bad about myself, etc. So, how do you, in a quantum way, connect with a higher self-esteem? Well, a lot of it, from my perspective, what I do is in envisioning the highest version of myself. So let's say, just for the sake of this lesson, let's say I'm down here, right? I'm on one of these lower lifelines, and something bad just happened. Let's say I got bad family news, or, you know, I'm not feeling well with my health. Maybe I took a financial hit in a business, something went down, and I ended up on one of these lower lifelines. So how to get myself thinking more positively about myself is actually very, very simple. I start to envision how my higher version of myself in a parallel reality on one of these higher lifelines is thinking and acting, and at which frequency, right? So I know for myself that this version of me sees endless possibilities, right? I have endless energy. I see all sorts of positive information and material in my reality that will help me to connect with my intentions with ease. I know all these things about this version of myself. So really, when I get to a lower level, now it doesn't happen too often, but once in a while it does. My sister was diagnosed with cancer this year. I have to say I was pretty low for a little while. But in my higher self meditation, and I definitely recommend, I will put a link below for anybody that wants to do this. In my higher self meditation, I suggest that you get closer to your higher self by actually envisioning your higher self, their energy, their expression on their face, their movement, their words that they're speaking to you, all that kind of stuff. So what this does is it helps you to really feel and embrace that your higher self is a lot closer to you than you may think. And this is valuable because the closer you feel that higher version of yourself to you, the more you're able to connect with that higher version of yourself via movement with your thoughts and your actions. So one of the first things that it's like, unless I do this one thing, I'm not going anywhere, right? I am stuck until I stop thinking about what I don't like, right? And this is in regards to myself, and then start thinking about what I strive to achieve instead, or what I do like. So if I'm here and I'm like, oh man, I'm feeling depressed, or I have anxiety, or I'm feeling dread, and I'm thinking about not liking those things, those feelings, those sensations are going to exponentially present themselves in my external environment, because whatever we focus on, we get more of, right? So really stopping myself, I see my reality, I need to stop thinking about what I don't like, what I don't want to feel, what's uncomfortable, and start thinking about what I strive to achieve instead. Okay, so in this scenario, what do I strive to achieve? Well, I strive to achieve connecting to my higher self. One of my ways that I know that I connect to my higher self is via self-care and self-love. This is a huge one for me. If I'm having a challenge with anything in life, I like to turn my phone off. I like to step away from my computer. I like to go into my lovely bathroom, and I self-care and self-love for sometimes 2-3 hours at a time. I take a bath. I really luxuriate. I play music I like. I light expensive candles, and I really go into self-care and self-love mode. So as Vadim Zeland says in the book, and I love this statement, I love this saying, he says, nobody is perfect until you fall in love with them. So why not fall in love with yourself? And when I go into this self-care, self-love mode, I really fall in love with myself, right? And when I fall in love with myself, all of those negative feelings that I have, all of those negative thoughts that I have about myself, all of those characteristics or attributes about myself that I could focus on, they start to diminish, right? Because I'm falling in love with myself. And like Vadim says, we always think the person we're falling in love with is perfect. So why not fall in love with yourself? So that is one of my go-tos, self-care and self-love mode, to help connect with that higher self and fall in love with yourself, therefore diminishing some of those lower nature thoughts about yourself. A little trick if you're really challenged every night write out 10 qualities about yourself that you love. And then in the morning, first thing, read those qualities again before you get out of bed. Then that next night, do the same thing. 10 new qualities about yourself that you love. And in that next morning, wake up and read it. And keep doing this. And you will very quickly see that you're highlighting that version of yourself. It's a great practice to do, right before you fall asleep to in the morning, because in that period of time, a lot can happen with feelings and connecting to a different version of ourselves. And I've done this where I've woken up in the morning and I felt like an entirely different person. It absolutely works. Again, higher self meditation, I'll put it in the comments below. Get your frequency up. I know a lot of people are very challenged right now because they put on a little weight because of COVID, or they're not as active, they're not as vibrant in the community. Our energy's a little bit stagnant. I bought myself a beautiful pair of rose gold roller skates, and I've been roller skating around town, right? I got myself an exercise bike. I play awesome music. I get my blood pumping. I've been running every day. So get your frequency up, get your energy up. This is definitely going to help you in your trajectory towards this higher version of yourself. Stop the fight. If you didn't watch my video on the Insecurity Maze, I would definitely suggest that video. This is really about not trying to rise up to the standards that you feel should be achieved, but by lowering your levels of importance on those exact same standards, therefore sort of dissolving the walls of the maze, the insecurity labyrinth that keep you trapped inside, searching. There is no way out of that maze other than dissolving the walls and simply walking out. So check out that video, the Insecurity Maze. I'll put that in the comments below as well, and definitely check that out. Fall in love with yourself. Remark on your improvements. This is a big one. So anytime you start to feel better, anytime you start to have higher thoughts about yourself, stop yourself and say, there's an improvement. There has been some evolution there, right? Really start to focus, because if you focus on it, again, it exponentially appears for yourself in your reality, more ways for you to feel good about yourself. So don't just let the positive feelings pass. Hold on to them to the best of your ability. It'll get you up here a lot quicker. I will leave it with this. Higher self guides the way. So I had a video not too long ago that talked about the conversations that can occur between the higher version of yourself and the lower version of yourself. Your higher version of yourself can definitely be in a leader role. And that is really what a slide is it's your higher version of yourself creating a version of reality in your mind prematurely, and then showing that visualization, that image to your lower self, saying, hey, look at this is a possibility. So your higher self can definitely guide the way to you getting up here by showing your lower self, look at, these are all your positive qualities. These are all your positive attributes. This is what people love about you. This is what you're capable of. And give your higher self the permission to really take that ownership of showing the lower version of yourself all the positive when it's needed, right? This is a big one. And I do this a lot, especially with my professional stuff, because I'm a learn as you go kind of person. And sometimes I hit these blocks and I'm like, oh my God, I don't know what to do. Am I good enough? Am I going to succeed? And then my higher self kicks in, creates a slide of me succeeding, and then shows that slide to my lower self, where then my lower self's like, okay, I can see it now. Thank you. And then I can continue on with my actions, thought quality, and frequency to that version of reality and that version of myself, if that makes sense. So, Are you in need of a upgraded self-esteem? Do you need to really start, again, stop thinking about what you don't like and start thinking about what you do like or what you strive to achieve? I'm curious to hear your thoughts on this one. And yes, I would advise everybody that this, every night, write out 10 positive qualities. Read it in the morning. Extremely powerful, quick little exercise you can start doing tonight to get yourself connected to that higher version, y'all. So let me know your thoughts. Please comment below and like. And thank you so much for watching my video. Bye, guys.